Well, Tom Dean from Maidenhead, what a brilliant, brilliant swim.
For someone who, I was just turned 21 at the time, it's quite a weight to put on like a young person's shoulders.
You had a bit of a crazy journey, like almost like a roller coaster going into Tokyo.
And yes, Tokyo was COVID, getting COVID twice, and I was frustrated at the time, obviously, because you only get a handful of Olympics in your career, and this felt like a real kind of curveball had been thrown in my one chance.
A long hold from the start and nerves really jangling on the start of that men's 200 metres freestyle. And right in the centre, the red hat, Duncan Scott started pretty well, but as always, Tom Dean looks really good closer to us.
If you get dealt a bit of a curveball, it's not the end of the world. You can still bounce back and have a really solid block of training.
Tom Dean looking very good indeed. 50 metres to go in this final of the 200 freestyle. That was a tired looking turn from Huang.
Well, Dean just under a second down.
It wasn't until a few days before I raced actually that my coach sat me down. He was like, look, you need to wrap your head around the prospect of winning an Olympic gold medal here.
Really?
Yeah. He said it was 3 days out, we're in the village. You know Team GB House? Right in front of it there was the water there, and there's kind of a bit of a park in the village. We sat in that park and we had a little chat, literally 2 or 3 days before my race, and he said, you can't go in not even believing that could happen. You have to believe it could happen.
Do you think it helped you?
Yeah, it did actually, because, like I said about my relationship with my coach, it's like a completely honest, open relationship. It was completely trusting in each other. I remember I did the semi-final and I thought I'd messed up. I thought I'd really misjudged it. So I finished the race and I thought, that felt way too easy. That felt way, I was really, I haven't made the final. I looked up, I'd gone like a really quick time, and I was like, if that felt that easy, I think tomorrow something special might happen.
He could get 2 medals, and can they be gold and silver? Can they be gold and silver? Yes, Tom Dean is Olympic champion on the 200 metres freestyle, and Duncan Scott's got the silver. Gold and silver to Great Britain. Tom Dean, you've just won the Olympic Games on the 200 metres freestyle, and Britain has gone 1-2. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness.
In my experience, almost getting the medals in London, home crowd, was crazy.
Yeah.
Rio was crazy. But Tokyo was really different for me because it felt like I could almost feel the emotion more. There was no external noise. It was actually just me and my feeling on winning that medal.
Yeah.
You come back to floods of people. Like, it must have been amazing. Was it overwhelming?
I didn't know it, but this massive street party had been organised. And I pulled down this road down here, and there were just hundreds and hundreds of people. And I was like, this is for me, from what I've done in swimming, which just almost didn't kind of compute in my head. It was like, the results I've got from racing out there have caused this massive, incredible reaction, and people cheering and celebrating. There were news cameras there. And it was quite overwhelming because, I'd come from having no crowds.
Trying to avoid people through COVID.
Yeah, to just, I think there were 600-700 people. And it was basically everyone I'd ever known. Everyone from Maidenhead and the swim club, and anyone that I'd been friends with, my family and friends with, and neighbours and stuff like that.
I'm shaking. I'm actually shaking.
And I remember I finished up and I was there for hours and hours and hours. And it was quite overwhelming. It was the joy of winning these, the stress of kind of getting back, seeing all this attention. And I went upstairs, and I'd been kind of putting on a bit of a front for the last few hours doing all these interviews and talking to all these people. And then it was like, once everyone had gone, and it was like this. It was calm again. I remember I just like absolutely broke down.
Really?
I was just remember absolutely just like almost like bawling, just being like to my mum. I think the weight of realization of what it was, because when we're out in Tokyo, you remember what it like. It was quite a bubble because there weren't crowds. It was just like you do your race and then you're with your team and your coach and stuff like. And you see stuff on social media, but it's not until you see people's physical reaction in front of you and hundreds of people that it really kind of hit home. A real flood of emotion that night, and then waking up the next morning and realizing that actually it was real and it had happened, and these were actually on my bedside table, and knowing that that was a real turning point in what the next few years and well kind of the rest of my life would look like. You know, once you get an Olympic gold medal, it all kind of changes.
I feel like I got into a position where I struggled a lot because it became massively overwhelming, almost become too much at some point with the pressure that constantly ramps up, and then the expectancy that's pumped on top. The expectancy is the hard bit, isn't it? I think when you're expected to produce everything every single time and a gold every time, and when you don't, it seems like a failure. Going through your journey and how you feel now, from your first Olympics in Tokyo, what's that journey been like from Tokyo, and now we're building up to Paris? What's that experience been like for you?
It's so strange because before these, if I went to a major international, it'd be like, you know, you're part of Team GB or British swimming, so you're expected to kind of be in finals and racing for medals, but you know, do your best basically. And then after these, it's like you're expected to bring home silverware every time. The year after, like I said, Commonwealth Games, I knew that was on my radar straight away. And I knew because it was a home games, it was kind of the closest thing we're going to get to an Olympics in terms of the British public. And I went there and I got 7 medals, the most ever from an English athlete or from a home nations athlete, won commies, and it was amazing. And at the time, it's brilliant. I got the 7th one and it was incredible. We won gold on the relay and it was just like the best in Birmingham, home crowd. But as soon as I finished that, it was like, now it's like Olympic champion and most decorated Commonwealth athlete. So it's cool that you add to your CV, but with that comes more. Doing the trials, getting that locked in, getting on the team, that was like, okay, I'm in a good spot. I'm fit. There aren't, you know, it hasn't all gone to pot. I've not forgotten how to swim. It's like I'm in a decent spot. And then it's like, right, now I've got kind of a job to do in the summer. I took real pride in it because I wanted to show that actually this is something I've been working on for so long, since I was a kid. I didn't want people to say I just got lucky, so I made sure that I stayed on every year, and I was the only person who stayed top 3 in the world in 21, 22 and 23. I will have given it my best shot, and I'm going to kind of take people along the journey and show that I've given my all to this sport and given my all to the pursuit of multiple medals.
It was massively intriguing and interesting to deep dive into your journey, but into your kind of like the insights and what you felt throughout it. So I think it's incredible.
No, thank you very much. There's not many people that can relate, you know, not many times you sit down for an interview and they actually understand where you're coming from. So no, thank you very much.
No problem.